Wi-Fi? Imagine your home without Wi-Fi. You'd have to plug your phone into the wall just to scroll Instagram. Nightmare fuel, right? Wi-Fi, short for wireless fidelity, was born in the 1990s and officially standardized in 1997 under IEEE 802.11. It lets our devices chat through the air instead of through messy cables. Think of it like invisible radio waves acting as your home's gossip hotline. The range is usually a few hundred feet, so you can watch Netflix in bed without worrying about dragging a 50-foot cable behind you. Wi-Fi has evolved over the years, with each new generation giving us faster speeds and more devices connected without melting down your router. Without it, your coffee shop would just be a place that sells coffee. Ethernet. Before Wi-Fi made us lazy with our laptops, Ethernet ruled the world of connectivity. Developed in 1973 at Xerox PARC by Robert Metcalfe, Ethernet was like the office grapevine but with cables, thick, clunky ones. It started at just 94 megabits per second, which today would barely load a YouTube thumbnail. Fast forward, and Ethernet now delivers 10 gigabits per second or more. The best part? Stability. Wi-Fi can be like your flaky friend who cancels plans last minute, while Ethernet is the dependable buddy who shows up early with snacks. Gamers, streamers, and anyone who values low latency still swear by those good old cables. Fiber optic. Fiber optics are like sending your data through laser beams. Instead of electrical signals in copper, it's light pulses through hair-thin glass. Charles Cow pioneered the idea in the 1960s, and by the 1980s, fiber was the backbone of global networks. Today, most of the internet's heavy lifting runs on fiber lines, capable of speeds over 100 gigabits per second in backbone infrastructure. For you at home, it means insanely fast downloads and uploads, even if you live far from your internet provider's central hub. If Wi-Fi is like your local pizza delivery, fiber is like teleporting an entire pizza from Italy to your kitchen in seconds. Coaxial cable. Before fiber became the superhero of the internet, coaxial cables did the job. They were invented in the mid-20th century, originally for long-distance telephone lines, and later became the standard for cable TV. Imagine a copper wire with layers of insulation wrapped around it, like a burrito keeping your data warm. Many households still use coax today, especially through cable internet systems like DOCSIS. The catch? Everyone in your neighborhood shares the same pipe, so it's like splitting a pizza with all your neighbors. Sometimes you're left with just crust. Powerline networking. Powerline networking is what happens when engineers look at your electrical outlets and say, hey, why not turn those into internet ports? This clever hack lets data ride on the same wires that power your toaster. Plug in an adapter, and suddenly your living room outlet becomes a network jack. It's not as speedy as fiber or Ethernet, but it's great for tricky spots where Wi-Fi dies, like your basement dungeon or garage workshop. Think of it as a side hustle for your electrical wiring. Digital Subscriber Line DSL. DSL is the grandparent of home internet. Born in the 1980s, it used your existing telephone lines to bring internet without blocking calls, unlike dial-up, which turned your home phone into a screeching alien every time you logged on. DSL was revolutionary at the time, but had a weakness: distance. The farther you lived from the provider's hub, the slower your internet. It's still common in rural areas where fiber hasn't reached yet. Good enough for browsing and email, but not for binging 4K Netflix marathons. It's like an old pickup truck. Reliable, but don't expect it to win any races. Cellular networking? Cellular networks are the reason you can scroll TikTok while waiting in line for tacos. Starting in the 1990s with 2G, phones went from making calls to sending texts. 3G in the 2000s brought mobile web browsing. Remember trying to load a website on your flip phone? Painfully slow. Then came 4G LTE, which turned smartphones into pocket computers, unlocking streaming, mobile gaming, and ride-hailing apps. Today, 5G promises download speeds up to 10 gigabits per second in theory, though real-world speeds are usually much lower. Still, it's a game-changer for things like augmented reality, autonomous cars, and even entire smart cities. Your phone is basically a mini radio station connecting to a giant network of towers. Satellite internet? If you live in the middle of nowhere surrounded by cows instead of cable providers, satellite internet is your lifeline. It beams data to and from satellites orbiting the Earth. Traditional satellite internet had a big problem: latency. Signals had to travel tens of thousands of miles to geostationary satellites, so even sending an email felt like waiting for snail mail. New systems like SpaceX's Starlink use low Earth orbit satellites, much closer to the ground, drastically cutting down lag and boosting speeds. Now even people on remote farms or in the mountains can stream Netflix, though maybe the cows won't appreciate it. Bluetooth. Bluetooth is that quiet friend who always shows up to connect your gadgets. Introduced in 1994 by Ericsson, it was designed to get rid of the jungle of cables between devices. Instead of plugging your headphones into your phone, you just pair them with Bluetooth. It works over short distances, usually up to 30 feet, and uses very little power, which is why your wireless earbuds don't need charging every hour. Modern Bluetooth 5.0 goes farther and handles multiple devices at once, so you can connect your headphones, smartwatch, and speaker without a fight. Think of it as the universal handshake for gadgets. Near-field communication, NFC. NFC is like Bluetooth's super short-range cousin. So short it only works when devices are practically kissing, but that's what makes it secure. Tap your phone to a payment terminal, and boom, your latte is paid for without pulling out a credit card. It's also used for transit passes, digital keys, and sharing files. Born in the early 2000s, NFC exploded in popularity with mobile payments like Apple Pay and Google Wallet. It's fast, simple, and safe, which is why tap to pay has become second nature. Infrared? Before Bluetooth and Wi-Fi, there was infrared, the granddad of short-range communication. It uses beams of light, but here's the catch. The devices have to see each other directly, like a TV remote and your television. That's why your old phone had an infrared port you never used. Back in the 1980s and 90s, infrared was everywhere, from remotes to data transfer between PDAs. But as technology moved forward, infrared stayed stuck in your living room, mainly in remote controls. It's like that retired uncle who still shows up at family dinners but doesn't really keep up with the times. ZigBee? ZigBee sounds like a dance move, but it is actually a wireless protocol designed in 2004 for smart homes and IoT. Its specialty? Ultra-low power consumption. Tiny sensors, smart bulbs, and door locks can run for months on a single battery. ZigBee devices form mesh networks, so dozens or even hundreds of devices can talk without overwhelming your Wi-Fi. Imagine your smart home as a gossiping neighborhood where everyone passes messages along until they reach the right person. Efficient, reliable, and perfect for a connected home. Z-Wave. Z-Wave is ZigBee's cousin, launched in 2001 by a Danish company called Zensis. It also powers smart homes, but with one key twist. It runs on a different frequency, reducing interference from Wi-Fi and Bluetooth. Z-Wave devices are designed to be highly compatible across manufacturers, so your smart thermostat can talk to your smart lock, even if they're made by different brands. Think of it as the universal translator for your smart home gadgets. While not as widespread as ZigBee, it's prized for security and energy efficiency. LoRa and LoRaWAN. LoRa, short for long range, is all about connecting devices over miles with tiny amounts of power. Pair it with LoRaWAN, the networking protocol, and you get a scalable system that's perfect for Internet of Things applications. Farmers use it to track livestock across acres of land, cities use it to monitor streetlights, and companies use it to track shipments in remote areas. Introduced in the mid-2000s, it's a favorite in industries where long distance and low power beat out high speed. Imagine texting once a day on a flip phone battery that lasts a year. That's LoRa's energy-saving superpower. Mesh networking? Mesh networking is like teamwork for your Wi-Fi. Instead of one lonely router struggling to cover your whole house, you set up multiple nodes that talk to each other. If one node goes down, the others keep the network alive. It's perfect for large homes, offices, or even whole neighborhoods. Originally used in military communication for resilience, mesh networking is now a household upgrade. Think of it like throwing a party. Instead of one friend yelling across the room, everyone repeats the message so the whole group hears it loud and clear. Li-Fi? Li-Fi sounds like science fiction, but it is real. Internet delivered through light. Developed in the 2010s by Professor Harold Haas, it uses LED bulbs that flicker faster than the human eye can see, transmitting data to a receiver. Because it uses visible light instead of radio waves, Li-Fi can achieve blistering speeds with little interference. The downside: it needs line of sight, so if you hide behind a wall, the party's over. Still, it has huge potential in places where radio signals struggle, like airplanes, hospitals, or crowded stadiums. It is Wi-Fi's shinier sibling, CBRS, Citizens Broadband Radio Service. CBRS is like giving companies their own private 4G or 5G network. In the United States, regulators opened up a slice of radio spectrum so businesses can set up local cellular systems without needing to buy expensive licenses. Picture a factory with hundreds of robots talking to each other on a secure, private network, free from outside interference. Or a stadium where everyone can live stream the game without the public cellular network crashing. CBRS is all about flexibility and making mobile connectivity more democratic. NB-IoT, narrowband IoT. NB-IoT is not about high speed, but about connecting an army of little devices quietly and efficiently. It is designed for Internet of Things gadgets that only need to send tiny bits of data occasionally, like water meters, air quality sensors, or smart parking spots. By using narrow frequency bands, it extends coverage deep into basements, rural fields, or underground garages. Imagine a million tiny sensors all whispering instead of shouting, saving energy and battery life. That is NB-IoT, the backbone of future smart cities.
So, if you found this video helpful, don't forget to like and subscribe. And don't forget to hit the notification bell so you'll be the first to know when a new video drops.